Hi felters and welcome. In today's video we're going to look at whether needle felted items are safe for children and animals. It's a question that I get asked an awful lot, so today we're going to answer it. So my name is Philippa and I am primarily a needle felter, and I sell needle felted items at craft fairs and on my website, and through Etsy as well. And I've always put on my items that they are not for children, they are adult ornaments only. And I put it in a leaflet and I write it on Etsy, on my website. And it's in all my kits as well. So I try to make it as clear as possible that these are adult ornaments only. However, I have been following quite a few crocheters lately in their business, and we are primarily talking about selling your felts, but it is something you should be aware of as well if you have children and they were to play with your felts. With the crochet businesses, and we are talking UK, I don't know what happens in the US, they have to UKCE or CA as it is, test their items. Now they can send their items away to be tested, or they can get a kit and test it themselves and video it and photograph it. I think it's about £60. So I'm going to do just a couple of those tests on Mr. Fox here. And I've wanted to do this video for a while, but I know that Mr. Fox is going to be sacrificed. So I didn't have a felt that I really wanted to sacrifice. I'm sorry, Mr. Fox. You are the chosen one, and it's a really good point we're going to demonstrate. So just to talk through really quickly, toys are defined as products that are designed or intended, whether or not exclusively, for use in play for children under 14 years of age. There are several items which may appear to be toys but are exempt from the regulations. These include Christmas decorations, I don't know why Christmas decorations, but detailed scale models for adult collectors. And that's where I think my items fall into. And then folk and decorative dolls for adult collections too. So I think that's where our needle felted items fall into, but I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice. So following the crochet ladies as well, it's really interesting that if they were to change the wool that they use, they would have to retest their items. So it's to do with the dye in the wool is also something that can be really unsafe. And if a child was to put something in their mouth, would the dye be chemically safe for the child? Obviously it's not going to be that good, but I popped onto the World of Wool site and you can actually see they've got BSN and then all the standard testing for the colours of the wool. So that's something else I really wasn't aware of that we are testing for in this country. So let's do a few tests on Mr. Fox and see what happens. So the first test may seem like a really silly one, but it's, I think, to do with children poking their fingers in. So you're literally going to repeatedly poke, I'm going to have to hold him, your needle felted item to see if a child can get their finger in anywhere. So I think we all know we'll probably pass this one, no problem. Sorry, Mr. Fox, this is going to be very traumatic for him. So yeah, I'm not sure how long we would do that for, but I think Mr. Fox will pass that one. And probably do it with a pencil, just because it's got a point on it. Yeah, so we're starting to make a little hole in the back there. You can stick the point of a pencil in there, but I'm sure the test is just for a pen. Obviously you can get down there and that's not so good. Right, so first test, I think you've just about passed. Right, so the next test is dropping from a height. I should imagine it must be from a particular height, but we'll do as high as me. And you just have to check that he's all okay, which he is. I should imagine you have to do it several times. I don't have the actual CE pack because there's no way I would be actually trying to get my needle felted items through the CE testing. So there we go, he's absolutely fine. Right, tests are going to get a little bit more stronger after this. Okay, so I've just come into the lounge for this one, and we're going to do a drop test. Now, I did see one lady drop a suitcase on her crocheted items, but I don't have one to hand, but I have a 6 kilogram weight. So it's going to make a bit of a noise. The dogs will probably come running over, but we're just going to take this weight up a little bit and drop it on him. Very noisy. Right, and I'm just going to do it that way round. That is such a weight. But I should imagine, is this sort of representing a child falling on him? Oh, it's starting to show a few signs of wear and tear there. Just do a couple more. And then I just did one on the face. And as we can see, he's starting to look a bit squished. Poor little Foxy. Okay, so is that a pass? I don't know, but let's just do one more with the tail. I've got a dog here. Stay there. Good girl. There we go. Yeah, so the tail, everything stayed on though, so that's a bonus. But his face is starting to look a bit squished. Now we're going to hang this weight from him. So I'll hold him up here and hang the weight down to see if, it's the pulling apart, see if a child could pull it apart. So with regards to the actual safety testing, you need a clamp and it's all done slightly differently, but I am demonstrating a point, and I think it's an even bigger weight than this one. So I've tied him to the weight and round his neck, and I'm going to try and lift just the 6 kilogram. And do we think he's going to survive? I don't. Oh my goodness. Apart from the fact that's really heavy, I can't believe he's surviving. Can you see? Yeah. And I think you have to hold it for a certain amount of time. He is spinning and his neck, I can see, is tearing apart a little bit, but it's still attached. I really thought that was going to come apart. Oh, there we go. The only thing I have to say was if I was to do that to the tail, it would, definitely, he would fall apart then. But I am very surprised that held. I am very surprised that his neck stayed attached. You're doing well, Mr. Fox, but we're on to the last test, which is probably not going to be very nice to watch if it works. We are going to, just to warn you, set light to him. It's the burn test, and you have to see how quickly any item would go up in flames. So we've come out into the garden for the last one, and I've got a bucket of water, some tongs, Mr. Fox, and some matches. I'm just going to have to count out loud because I can't time it and do this at the same time. I'm on my own today. But needless to say, please do not do this at home. You do not need to do any of this testing. I do know I have some younger members, but yeah, do not do this at home. And to be fair, I actually have no idea how well this is going to burn. I don't know what anyone else thinks. Right, so if I light the matches, I'm going to do 2 together. It is a little bit windy. Oh yeah, we were discussing it on my Patreon as to would it actually burn, but he's definitely melting. I wouldn't say, oh, he smells. I wouldn't say he's catching light. Oh my goodness, he's definitely melting though. Just trying to do it around the felted wool. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Sorry if I'm blocking your view. I am definitely not getting him going up in flames yet. Oh, are we? Are we? Is he alight? Oh dear. Right, matches have run out. Yeah, I would say he's not gone up in flames, but he's definitely burnt. But the whole point of that one is that a child should, be able to let go of the item if it was to catch fire. I'll try one more, but I think that has demonstrated the point. It is hard to get it to melt on the actual really felted bit. So we'll discuss the properties of wool when I'm back upstairs. But yeah, the only bit that I think I would get to light is the tail, and that's going to get a bit hot. Right, point demonstrated. There we go. This is why I didn't want to do this with any of my felts. Sorry, Mr. Fox. So there we go. That's Mr. Fox looking a lot worse for wear. He really smells. So I've got the window open. He's going to go in the bin in a minute. I'm just going to take a shot for the thumbnail. But I do know that wool has a really high ignition temperature, so I didn't expect him to go up in flames. Something like synthetic wools probably would go up in flames for crocheted items. But yeah, he just sort of melted away, and wool can even self-extinguish, which is sort of what he did really. But he structurally, he did stay together with some of the simple tests I did. I didn't do proper tests, but I do felt my felts quite firmly. So maybe that's why sort of his neck, I'm really impressed that his neck stayed together. I thought that was going to fall apart completely. So the other thing I wanted to discuss in particular to do with cats, because people do think needle felted items are okay for cats, but we discussed this in my Patreon. I didn't know the exact reason why, but they have barbs on their tongue that only go in one way. So the wool goes down, they can't get rid of it, and they can't vomit it, so they get obstructions. So there's plenty of other cat toys that are safe for them, so please don't give them needle felted items. So I think we have demonstrated the point. Needle felted items are not safe for children and animals. Any questions, put them below. Obviously, as I said, I'm not this is not legal advice, I'm not a lawyer, but I do, if you are selling your items, I would recommend putting warnings all over them everywhere you can. And if anyone is watching that does have any further advice, please put it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. So it's editing Philippa here, and I just wanted to come on and say it does look like Mr. Fox actually did quite well in those tests. He did survive. However, please bear in mind those tests weren't done to their full capacity. You have to think about your needle felted items and would they survive testing like that. The answer is always, in my mind, going to be a no, because bits can be pulled off them quite easily. So thanks for watching, and see you again soon.